Welcome back to Marquette Basketball Weekly. When our assistant sports director Todd Warner isn't here at Rayner Library studying for his classes, he's in the film room breaking down the Marquette basketball team. And this week he looked at that opening exhibition game to see which lineup combinations worked for head coach Buzz Williams.
The Golden Eagles trotted out multiple lineups throughout the exhibition game against MSOE. The starters included Acker, Kubian, Fols, Butler, and Hayward. That wasn't necessarily the most efficient combo that Coach Buzz Williams threw out on the court. The media timeout with 15:22 left in the first half, Buzz brought in Mayman, Bikes, and Otule. Now with a more conventional lineup, 1 through 5 allowing Lazar to play the small forward position, being at the top of the three-point line where he is at his best. This group got great guard penetration that created 5 assists on the offensive end. They also got ball pressure from the guards that allowed them to get in the passing lanes defensively, creating 3 steals that led to 9 points. In the second half, Lazar flourished with this lineup, putting up 9 points on 3 of 4 shooting and dropping a pair at the charity stripe to go along with 2 steals and an assist. No matter who he puts out there, Buzz needs 5 guys that can defend the basket. He hopes to find the right chemistry sooner rather than later with its young group of players. Now we go to Kerry Kalin at the Annex for some fan reaction for the first installment of the Buzz Williams Show.
Monday marked the first Buzz Williams Show of the year, with the Golden Eagles season starting at the Bradley Center as they take on Centenary for the home opener. Fans talked about the expectations they have for the season.
I really wanted to hear how the team fits together, what the silly things that is said in practice.
I think just talking about what each player's role is in the offense and the defense and how each player fits in what he expects from them, and just figuring out who's going to do what on offense, and it's hard to tell even who's going to start next week and what's going to really happen.
Fans are anxious for the season to get underway as there are many new faces on the Golden Eagle roster that Coach Buzz Williams needs to develop.
I came out to see what Buzz thought of the first game and how he thought the team did.
This week was Buzz Williams' first radio show with ESPN. Fans came out to hear what he had to say and get his thoughts on the previous game, as well as this week's game against Centenary. Reporting from the Annex, Kerry Kalin, MUTV Sports.
When the regular season opens up this Friday, freshmen will be flooding out of McCormick Hall down to the Bradley Center. But our freshman reporter Ryan Clancy went to the Al McGuire Center this past Wednesday to talk with Buzz Williams about the upcoming game.
On Wednesday, Coach Buzz Williams looked ahead to Friday's season opener against Centenary. Since he said there isn't a lot of film on this team from this year, he will be more focused on what the Golden Eagles need to do on the floor.
I don't know that we're completely prepared for anything that would be thrown at us, and not to justify that, but I'm not sure that any team is completely ready for anything that'll be thrown at us. They have 4 returning players, so their roster looks similar to ours. Who is this guy? Who is this guy? Who is this guy?
One of Marquette's many new additions is sophomore Darius Johnson-Odom. Coach Williams talked about how Darius's injury has hampered him so far and how he needs to recover completely and contribute if the Golden Eagles want to remain competitive throughout the entire season.
He was in the boot. I made him stay in the boot. That was my orders, not Dr. Gertel or Ernest's orders, just because I wanted him to come back healthy. And he never had a hiccup until we played MSOE. He's been completely off other than being with Ernest and Todd rehab-wise on Sunday. He was off Sunday. He was with those guys Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. We practiced that. We had early bird this morning, and he went, and he was fine. So we've been too protective, overcautious, because I think he's going to have a distinct role on our team, but we need him to have a distinct role from the time that he starts until the season is over.
As the season opens Friday, the Golden Eagles have a lot to prove. The game's result won't answer everything, but it will be the first step for this young group. And now we go to Brad Galley for this week's Golden Eagles Spotlight interview with Jimmy Butler.
Welcome to this week's Golden Eagles Spotlight interview. We're joined by junior Jimmy Butler. And Jimmy, a lot's been said about this team and you taking over in your leadership role. Another guy with you there is Lazar Hayward. What's your guys' friendship and relationship like?
Man, Lazar's my guy. You know, we joke around a lot. Always joking around, actually, you know, even if it's from calling each other names to, you know, I don't know, it's weird. I don't feel comfortable talking about it on camera, but yeah, me and Zar, we're close. We grew close over the year, and I think it's just going to keep going upward. And, man, I love Zar to death.
Compare your guys' leadership styles to one another. Everyone says Lazar's kind of the quiet guy. Where do you fit into the mix there?
I'm really quiet too, and I think that's why we get along so well. Like, I take after him in so many ways when it comes to like leadership on the court, because yeah, I have to be a leader, but I still look up to him. I mean, he's been here 4 years, and he knows a lot more than I know, but I know a lot more than the younger guys know. So at the same time, they're looking up to both of us, but I'm still looking up to him. And so, you know, I try to take after him on the court. And I try to, you know, fit into his role, kind of do what he does.
Your maturation process has been well documented. You come in last year and not really thought of as a guy who's going to contribute a lot, and then all of a sudden you're this freak ripping down rebounds, and all of a sudden Jimmy Butler's the guy everyone's talking about on Marquette. Did you expect yourself to fit in so well, so fast here?
I actually didn't. When I first got here, it was so hard, and everybody was like, man, stay positive and just keep working. But I mean, it's easy for them to say that, like just the intensity. I mean, it's a big jump from high school to D1, or from JUCO to D1. It's so different, and just the way that buzz works, and every day and every play, it's the hardest that you can go. And truthfully, I wasn't used to that. So when I got here, you know, I was a lot below everybody else. And then, you know, they just started pulling me up with them, and I just started fighting through a lot of stuff. And mentally, I was getting tougher, and physically. So, I mean, it only helped out there on the court.
We talk a lot about the relationships of you guys with the younger players, and Dwight's one of those guys, Dwight Bikes, coming in from junior college, who's constantly said, hey, you know, I have a leadership role in this team. I'm one of the older guys. I'm new, but I'm older. Have you seen him kind of develop already as one of the guys that's kind of taken over, like you did last year?
So far, so good. I mean, Bikes is a really good player, you know. Of course, he has a lot to learn. I mean, but who doesn't? But he works extremely hard. And, you know, if the game's on the line, I want him fighting right by my side every time, because I know he's going to give it his all. I can tell by the way that he goes in practice, and, you know, he's just always wanting to be around a team. And even though he's a old, young guy, he's still helping out the young guys. Yeah. And so you can tell that, you know, he's trying to be a leader on the team.
Buzz said Wednesday that there's a core group developing in practice, and everyone that group's starting to take shape and people are following. Comparing last year to this year is a tough task, but are you comfortable with the starting five that's starting to develop in practice now to go forward?
Yeah, I'm very comfortable, because I see in practice that, you know, we're all sharing the ball, we're all working together. We're not ever worried about who's shooting this shot or how many shots that they're taking. So, I mean, as long as, you know, we're guarding and taking the best shots on offense, I'm completely fine with the five that we have right now.
And you ready to go to battle with those guys?
Every day.
All right, Jimmy. Thanks a lot for joining us this week on the Golden Eagle Spotlight interview. You can catch this interview, of course, on MUTVsports.com and catch all of our interviews there. Thanks so much.
Our tweet of the week comes from Kevin Botting, a good friend of the station. KBot4587 says, I am looking forward to this MU season, not so much as the B-ball, but your stories on MU B-ball Weekly. You want to be our tweet of the week? Well, you can tweet us at MUTV Sports.
Thank you to everybody for tuning in to this week's episode of Marquette Basketball Weekly. Be sure to check out this episode, all previous episodes, and post-game coverage of Marquette basketball on our website at MUTVsports.com. For the crew, I'm Brad Galley. I got to catch this bus to get down to the Bradley Center. Nice!